to him, I will respect him. And if he demands me to serve him food, I will.
Yeah.
Even if I am doing 50-50 in that relationship. And you know why? Because
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 11th episode of the Idle Park Talk Show. Today, we are beginning a collaborative series with the Black Pearls inspired of Calgary. We're going to be talking everything about relationship. To start this episode, we're going to dive into leadership in relationship. Everybody, please welcome Patience and Fanny of the Black Pearls Inspired.
Hi,
Welcome, ladies.
thank you. Hi.
thank you for having us.
How are you guys doing today?
Good, despite the bad weather.
Despite the bad weather. We were supposed to have this show outside. It was supposed to be an outdoor show
Yeah.
to start with, but unfortunately the weather did not cooperate.
Well, that's Calgary for you.
Yeah.
Never
Everything
can tell.
and everything happens for a reason.
Everything
so-
happens for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had to make last minute arrangements for you guys to be here. So we're grateful that you guys could make it. So thank you again for coming.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
I was gonna start. Do you guys notice that there's a divide in relationships between men and women?
Absolutely. And I would tell you that for me, honestly, I look at it from the part where I do think that us women are emotional people, men are more logical.
Okay.
And so there will obviously be that divide because we are always looking at it's not only relationships,
Yeah.
we are looking at a lot of things from different perspectives because women invest a lot of emotions
Yeah.
when it comes to them addressing issues. But for a man, he will look at it and say, this is what I see.
Yeah.
And I don't know why you're thinking I did that way and why you should be even adding emotions to this when
Yeah.
it just has to be this. So I just this thing that it doesn't only have to do with relationship, it has to do with a lot of different
Things
aspects.
in life.
That's my take though. Fanny.
Well, I would say we have emotional men out here. I'm always on the other side. Like I look at it from
Both
from
sides.
both
Yeah.
sides.
Yeah.
Yeah. The man can be the emotional one in the relationship.
That's
as well
not a
as the
good
woman,
combination.
yeah.
I can tell you that.
Well, it all depends. If he's the emotional one and the woman is the strong one,
Why
then
not?
it's a
No,
good combination.
I don't.
Absolutely.
That's a bad combination.
Well,
That's absolutely a bad combination.
yeah.
Okay, our topic for today is leadership.
Yeah.
So when we talk about the phrase leadership in relationship, what comes to mind? What do you think about instantly when you hear that?
What comes to mind is who is leading
Mhm.
this relationship.
Right.
And you want me to expand more on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, when we talk about leadership in relationship, always, I would tell you honestly, my feeling is not a very good one. Yes, because of the way we grew back home. If you go back to Cameroon precisely, you know that it's natural that the dads have always been the leaders of the house. So I think that I'm getting this contradicting feeling that the dad has always been. But then I live in the West now where I'm looking at it from a different perspective, where it's not exactly the same.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you my reasons why. I don't have the same feelings for the dad always being the leader or in the leadership role in the relationship because it's always put a lot of pressure on the man.
Yeah.
And when I talk about a lot of pressure on the man, I don't have a quantitative study on this or a research on it. But if you look at it very keenly, you'll notice that back home, the men always die early.
Everywhere.
Yes.
There's nowhere in the world
Yes.
where the life expectancy of women is
It's, you
lower
know,
than men.
Things are changing.
yes, it's quite funny that we don't pay attention to these things.
Yeah.
But then I kind of try to see sometimes I sit by myself and I think about why we think this is so. As I said, I haven't done any research on it. But our parents, especially the dad that takes the leadership role in our African context, Cameroon precisely, I would say, is facing so much pressure. And it's not because he cannot relinquish that role to the wife, but because he thinks about the stigma
Yeah.
around him, about what people will think. But you know what? I live in the West now.
Yeah.
And I don't want it to be that way.
Okay.
And I don't want it to be that way for several reasons because I want my voice to count.
Okay.
I want my husband to understand that I am open-minded. I can communicate. I can contribute. I can relieve a little bit of that stress that
Yeah.
is on him.
Yeah.
And it doesn't only have to be, because when we talk about leadership role in a relationship, some people think that it is who is the person that is bringing more. Is the person that is calling the shots. No, I'm not looking at it that way. I'm looking at it from the perspective where I think that we are in a partnership, we are collaborating, and we need to work
Yeah.
as one, because that is what marriage is. So for me, that is what I consider leadership in a relationship.
Nice take. Fanny?
I'll go back to our African traditions,
Yeah.
right? Even if the woman wants to be talking of our African traditions, even if that woman has the qualities of being the leader in the relationship, we have this authoritarian, dictative type of culture that forces the man to stand as the leader of that relationship. Because if you see a house falling, they'll ask you, "Pa, no, they inside that house. Is it okay?"
Yeah.
So they'll ask you, is there no man in that house to bring this house to the level that it's supposed to be at? So African culture gives that man that role, even if he doesn't want it. But being here in the diaspora, it's all about who can do what. So like I said, the leadership role could be that of the mom or that of the dad, depending on the different aspects that they're looking at. For example, the mom could be the leader in the house in the sense that she's the leader in the kitchen, cooking food for the household. On the other side, the dad could be the leader in the house because he's the one going out to fetch the money, even though the mom could be working. So they have different roles.
Yeah.
Back in Africa, the male gender is the lead.
Yeah.
But out here in the diaspora, we have, like my sister said, we want our voices to be heard.
Yeah.
So we have been emancipated. We are not those ladies who are no longer educated, right? And once you're emancipated, you want to make your voice and your opinion
has to
known.
be.
But it's not like you're pushing the man behind.
Yeah.
You people know we still honor our traditions.
Yeah.
You as your, I'll still call my husband daddy. I'll call him pa. That is
Yeah.
making him know that he is the head of this house.
Yeah.
But there are certain things that I take the lead, and then
Yeah.
my husband takes the lead. And when you have kids too, there are times that those kids can take the lead.
Yeah.
So it's all about, like you said, it's about collaboration, right? So it's a collaborative relationship. It's not about one person being above the other person.
Yeah.
So that's what I think about it.
Interesting take. So what I hear is more of a kind of no leadership, collaborative, everybody's on the same level. And the one I hear from Fanny is kind of like a dynamic situation where leadership can change at particular point in time.
Exactly.
We're going to dive into that because there's a lot of interesting to talk about all this, all what you guys just said there.
So, me, I'm thinking, what would a relationship be like without a leader? Because I know you made it very clear that people take leads at different points in time.
Yeah.
What if I, the dad, sat here expecting that, or the boy, because again, it could be boyfriend and girlfriends, right? So we are talking about relationship generally speaking. What if I, the boyfriend, sat here thinking that she was going to do something that I thought she would be taking the lead for? Do I need someone? Does someone need to lead to say, "Hey, remember we're going to do this," or "Remember you need to do this"? That is there a need for that?
Let me come in there. I hear you,
Yeah.
Ason, clearly. And I know this is going to be a topic for another day, and I really want us to collaborate on this and do it. We have to start from how we are raising our boys.
Yeah.
And I come with this in because we are coming back from a place where the man is the lead.
Yeah.
And you made a very important point where if there is no relationship or how people take leadership roles, how is the relationship gonna? Let's go back to boyfriend and girlfriends.
Yeah.
Before we even become husband and wife, the guy is always the one that's making this move to say, I've seen this girl, this is the person I want, I want to date this person, right?
Yeah.
We are always expecting the boy to make the first move.
Yeah.
When it comes to giving an engagement ring, the same thing.
Yeah.
Yes. Is it just because it is the norm?
Yeah.
It is just because it is the narrative
Yeah.
that is bringing us to this level where when we get into marriage, the leadership role automatically goes to the man.
Yeah.
This is another question I ask myself all the time. But I'll come back to what Asong is trying to say. For me, I would tell you, when we get into marriages, when we get into relationships, there is always this expectation I will give you my opinion. Where I think that we have to be able to bring everybody to the table to sit and say, this is where I'm coming from, this is where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Don't forget, two people coming together is a partnership. I don't care if we got in front of the altar and said, I do or I didn't.
Yeah.
But because it is a partnership, we need to discuss things
Yeah.
to be able to make sure we are holding people accountable for their actions.
Right.
Holding people accountable for their actions doesn't mean that we are in equal roles. Holding people accountable is the fact that we are in a relationship where there is respect for each other. I don't want to bring emancipation in here. I don't want to bring equality in here. Our expectation is for the man to lead. And you know why we put all our trust in the man? Because we consider you guys to be logical, to be stronger, to be able to be that protector
Yeah.
of the beings that
Yeah.
we are. You understand?
Yeah.
And I think that that's why we assume that we need to put these roles on you guys. But then, think about it
There's
for a
always a
minute.
bet.
Think about it for a minute.
Yeah.
That if, for example, my husband has a headache and he lays down,
Yeah.
he's unable to get up to go and get some cool water from the fridge,
Yeah.
he's going to request me to do that for him,
Yeah.
right? At that time, he's asking me to do that because he knows he got me there to be
Yeah.
able to do that.
Yeah.
If I wasn't there.
Yeah.
But does it actually mean that I'm a leader at that time? No.
I don't know. It
we
depends on
are in a relationship where we have to collaborate. So as some rightly said, if there is no leader, will there be a relationship?
Yeah.
For me, honestly, there is a partnership. I will come back to my point.
Okay.
There is collaboration.
You're
I will
kind
come
of
back to my point.
diverting to your point, then you came back to your point at
yes.
the end. I saw how
Yes, and I will say this is the way I look at it. The man is the head,
Yeah.
I will tell you. But when it comes to a leadership role,
Okay.
for me, I would say the surface is flat
Okay.
for me. It's a level ground.
Yeah.
Fanny, before we come to you, I just want to do a follow up. So first of all, it's the questions or the conversation didn't start with the man is the head or
Yes.
the leading the relationship,
Yes.
right? I would just want that to be really clear that
Yeah.
that was not how we started the conversation,
Yes.
but that is seemed to be where the conversation is going.
Yeah.
So secondly, I think the point I was trying to make was you indicated that it's a partnership. Would you agree or disagree that even in partnerships
There's a leader.
there's a leader?
100%. There's a leader,
Okay.
even in partnership. And I'm bringing it back to relationships.
That's where
That's the partnership. That's the relationship.
That's the relationship. And if I agree that there is a lead,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
because when you get into your relationship, there is always that person
Yeah.
that is a stronger person.
Yeah.
There is always that person that can make better decisions than the other person. There is always that person that the other person can trust that if they agree that this is what we are doing, then I think that it is the right decision. So I believe that there is leadership.
Okay.
But it doesn't have to do with gender. For me, leadership is
Okay, Vicious, you got me confused there. We are going to get to that. You've gotten my brain mixed up. Anyway, yeah, Fanny, let's go.
Okay, Asan, can you just ask that question again so that I
Okay,
make sure
let
I'm
me
answering
reframe.
can you rephrase it? Yeah.
Is there supposed to be a leadership in a partnership?
in
In
relationship.
a relationship. In a relationship.
Well, to me, I always go by this saying that a ship without a captain is going to wreck eventually.
Okay.
I can't disagree
And
with
you
that.
can't have two captains in a ship.
I can't disagree with that as well.
I'll just let you know. I'm just saying, I'm trying to grab my brain around what you guys are thinking, and
So, let
my
me-
brain is all over the place. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Let me go with the first part.
Yeah.
A ship without a captain is going to wreck.
Yeah.
If both of us sit in the house and we're just looking at each other,
Hoping
hoping that the someone will do something, for sure that relationship is bound to fail.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It all boils down to effective communication in the
Right.
house.
Yeah.
You should be able to read your partner,
Yeah.
and your partner should be able to read you.
Yeah.
If you both of you are expecting that something should happen and it's not happening, I believe one person would have that initiative to say, oh my dear, this thing is not happening.
Yeah.
How can we proceed? As well as the other person should be thinking the same way, even if the other person, at least there should be one person who's thinking in that direction if there's effective communication in that relationship. But then, on the other hand, let me go to the part where you have two captains in a ship. For sure, you cannot be piloting to the left and to the right at the same time.
Yeah.
You need direction. So it's all about compromising. It's all about coming to a midpoint where you let go of your differences and have a neutral point where you can agree.
Yeah.
So at that point, both of you can lead. And I know it's a bit confusing still, but I still believe in a partnership. There should be a leader.
I feel like I should have brought a pen and a book because there are too many things
There are
happening.
too many things happening.
And I can't put
So
all of it
leadership, for
together,
sure,
right?
there should be a leader because without
There
a
should
leader,
be partnership.
yeah,
Okay, let's put it simple, ladies. Should there be a leadership in a relationship? Yes or no?
Of course, there should be.
Patience.
Patience will not.
No. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay, you kind of hesitated. You hesitated there, so we're not sure.
I know we've talked a little bit about who should lead that relationship. Your views are almost, well, they're clear enough, but I think I should ask again, and I'd ask it this way. Take a boyfriend and girlfriend type relationship. There is an expectation that the boy approaches the girl. The boy is taking leadership.
Not necessarily. I bet. you
Generally
disagree.
speaking. There
Generally
are a few
speaking.
exceptions, but there are very few exceptions to that
Okay,
rule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The boy approaches the girl,
Yeah.
right? He is leading that, right? The boy is asking for a phone number or where do we meet and all that. He's leading.
He's taking her to a date. He's spending. He's leading.
Yeah, he's leading. If there has to be a marriage at some point, I don't see any girl running out with a wedding ring to kneel
Propose.
down and ask a boy if you want to marry me. So the man takes that step, which is leading, right? So if I am already doing all that, why should I not lead when we eventually are in a relationship or when we eventually decide to get married?
Can I answer that?
Yeah,
please?
Go ahead.
Go.
I have seen relationships where the woman is the one proposing.
That's true.
The woman is the one looking for the venue. The woman is the. I'll take an example. This is a true example of someone when I lived back home. You may tell me that happens in the diaspora, but this happened when I was back home. This guy sat with his mom in the house. His ex-girlfriend of yesteryears came from the US, came to the parents and said, "Mommy, I don't come for marry your son." You understand? That
Yeah.
happened back in Cameroon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That mama called that girl to the side and said, "My Pekin, please go back to the house. I will bring my people to see you." I know our African
Yeah. Yeah.
norms require that the man should go and do it, but it's happening.
Yeah.
Women are proposing to men.
Yeah.
Women are going down on their knees asking for the man to marry
That,
them.
that doesn't look ridiculous to you. It looks absolutely ridiculous to me.
It doesn't, because
doesn't?
it doesn't. If a man can ask you, it could be that the man is pulling things. He's
Yeah.
taking forever to ask that girl,
Yeah.
and the girl is ready.
Yeah.
Maybe the man is even shy to come and stand in front of you to tell you that
Yeah.
I'm ready to get married to you.
Yeah.
The woman should take the lead.
Or maybe
I
the
don't-
man doesn't want to get married. to
Or
you.
maybe if he doesn't want to, then he should tell you.
Yeah.
But if the lady is ready and comes to you, because usually it's when the man is ready that he's going to ask that lady.
Yeah.
He doesn't know if she's ready.
Exactly.
So what about if it's the woman who's
Women
ready?
say no to men all the time.
And men say no to women
Exactly.
too. So it should be a balanced thing.
Yeah.
If a man can ask the woman, then the woman should be able to ask the man.
Okay. I think you guys are totally off
Patience
par.
seem to have
Like you
something to
guys
Okay, I know your question is, shouldn't there be a leader if the guy is already leading in all,
yeah.
like during the chasing process, the engagement process, and even after the wedding?
Yeah.
I'll be very honest with you. The man, as is considered, we're in the West. My man still leads.
Yeah.
And my man still leads because I believe in his potential. It's not because I'm lacking,
No.
but it's because I trust him more.
Right.
And I think that the lead is just because I trust him more. That is
Yeah.
a situation that is peculiar to me.
Right.
There might be women out there that are in their marriages and they are not seeing the man taking that role.
Exactly.
You understand?
That's
Yeah.
true.
And I just do think that if the man is not taking up that role and the woman thinks that I can step into that role to better this family, why not?
Why not? Yeah.
Exactly.
I
But
agree.
True.
honestly, in my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
just pertaining to my case.
Yeah.
I trust my husband more. And
Okay.
why do I trust him more? Because he's made so many good decisions that I can attest to.
Okay.
So I trust him more in making that decision. So I don't refuse the fact that men should still lead if they are actually taking their role.
We're coming
And
to a compromise.
in-
I think
If-
we're
no,
getting closer
if
together
they
in
are-
terms of
If
thought.
they are taking up that role, why not?
Yeah.
But also don't forget that every woman sees something in their man.
Right.
And during the dating stage, I would say, there are those things that you can see, and that is
Yeah.
why you choose one man
Over the other.
over the other.
Thank you.
We can all agree on that. And I just want to go on to say that, exceptionally, for me,
Yeah.
the way I look at it, the way I look at a man comes from my point where, is this man leading himself?
Yeah.
If a man can lead himself, he can lead a relationship. And this doesn't only apply to the fact that you think that he's taking this role, he's doing all this. You understand? I look at aspects where he can listen to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
He can understand what
Yeah.
I'm feeling.
Yeah.
He is able to sit down with me and communicate. So some of those aspects, I think, are things that I
Oh,
look
we're
at.
gonna get
Because
into.
if a man can lead himself, then how is he gonna lead his home?
Yeah. Exactly.
So, believe me or not, in my home, my husband is the leader because he takes those decisions that I'm very satisfied with and very proud with.
Interesting. I think
Yeah.
we're coming to
We're getting
some
there.
sort of understanding. We're getting there slowly but surely. You kind of dabbled into it a little bit. Your man is a leader because you respect him. Okay, so that brings us to the question: what are the qualities of a good leader in a relationship?
For me,
Yeah.
the first quality of
Yeah.
a good leader
Right.
is to be able to listen
Okay.
to me. The second is open communication. The third is mindfulness.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people think that trust is the first, but then trust comes in. So those are what I look at
Yeah.
in a man. And when I talk about trust, I talk about him being reliable.
Right.
I don't want to I will not go do, what do they call it? A record check.
Yeah.
Is it a record check? What did I
Background
call it?
check.
A background
Background
check,
check, yeah.
on my husband.
Yeah.
I will not go out to investigate him, but being able to trust that he says
Yeah.
A is A and B is B. Being able to say a no is a no, a
Yeah.
yes is a yes.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm looking at. There are
Right.
too many things out there that we kind of ignore.
Yeah.
But for me,
Yeah.
those are the qualities I'm looking at.
What I hear is, and I'm speaking in general now,
Yeah.
if a man possesses all those qualities, women don't
allow
have a
him.
problem with that man leading.
We allow him lead.
Absolutely.
Okay. So if a man possesses all these qualities, you're fine with the man leading.
It could be
And that
something-
goes back to your point of a woman proposing to a man. Do you feel that man was leading or not?
Well, I went to that aspect of the woman proposing to
Yeah.
the man when she feels ready. When she feels ready for marriage, and
Yeah.
the man is not yet ready for marriage.
Yeah.
That man could possess all those qualities, but he's not yet ready to take that other step.
Yeah.
So that woman, having that urge to
Yeah.
take their relationship to a next level, having seen all those qualities in the man,
Right.
and maybe he's pulling the leg, or
Yeah.
she wants to take it to another level. That's why she goes ahead to
Yeah.
take the lead
Yeah.
in that particular aspect. So
Would
You didn't answer the
would it be-
question.
Would it be
Is
fair?
the
would it be-
man-
Would it be fair to say, just in support of
Yeah.
would it be fair to say to expect that woman to lead that marriage, or to lead because this guy wasn't necessarily ready.
Yeah.
yeah.
You took the steps. You led that process.
Yeah.
Now you two are married.
Yeah.
You expect him to step up, or
Or
you
you
expect to
continue to
keep
lead.
leading.
Okay. When I talked about this woman taking the lead in that particular aspect, that didn't mean she wanted to lead the relationship. I told you guys before that in a partnership, like in a relationship, in a marriage, or in a boyfriend girlfriend, you take leadership
Roles,
roles
depending,
depending on what you want to
Yeah.
do at that particular
Yes.
time. He may be leading in other aspects, but at that particular time, he wasn't
leading
ready.
in
He
that
wasn't
part
leading
of
in
that
that
relationship.
one.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
she decided to take the lead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean that she wants to lead the whole relationship.
Right.
That's my point. That's the way I was
But
looking at it.
speaking to Asa's point, do you think that sets the pace
A good
of how the
pace?
relationship is going to go?
Well,
Fanny, let me come in. I will go with an example, and shoot this question right back to you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a good example.
Right.
And it's just like some girl dating some guy. And every single time, she has to plan all the outings.
Yeah.
If she doesn't initiate anything, nothing
Yeah.
happens. Good.
Yeah.
And I just sit back and listen to this story or just watch.
Mm-hmm.
And I come to a conclusion in my mind,
Yeah.
without telling this person in this situation.
Yeah.
I will want you guys to give me like an honest answer.
Yeah.
Do you think this young girl in this relationship that is initiating everything in this relationship
Yeah.
is comfortable with the fact that she's taking all decisions in the dating stage? Let me just say in the courtship stage. You think that 100% this girl will be able or will be motivated to go into marriage with this guy?
No.
I don't think he
What do you
should. She
think?
should even still be in that relationship.
Good. And this brings me back
Yeah.
to this
Well,
point.
Oh wait.
I
Well, let's
honestly-
expand shade. Let's expand shade.
Let,
Yes.
let me bring something
Go
else
ahead.
in that.
There will-
Or maybe you wanna add something
it
there?
could be that he's not doing those things maybe because he doesn't know how to go about it.
Yeah. Maybe.
So if she's
That's
taking
one
the
aspect.
lead,
Yeah.
so
Excuse me.
yeah.
How old? When? No. Let's not make excuses.
Yeah.
How old?
Yeah.
These are adults, right?
Dating relationship, they are not like in their early 20s.
Early
Okay.
20s.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Let's dive into
Still,
that.
man.
Let's get the man's perspective. That girl should not be in that relationship
not-
because that man is not a leader.
Good.
That man is weak. The lady is going to consider that man weak. She's going to trample on him and she'll be frustrated with herself because she doesn't want to take that leadership
I
position.
beg to differ, Mr.
Yeah,
Ghana.
okay,
Okay,
yeah.
go ahead,
Yeah.
honey.
Yeah.
Let me see. We
Yeah,
all
go.
have different upbringings.
Right.
Yeah.
We have different levels of exposure.
Yeah.
Patience may have grown in the city. She met this guy who grew up in the village.
Mm-hmm. Right.
He doesn't have the same level of exposure
Yeah.
as her. So it's very normal if she's the one initiating those things
Okay.
because she's used to that type of life.
Yeah.
Maybe the guy doesn't have the finances even.
Maybe.
He doesn't even know where
Yeah.
to start from.
Right.
So if she has the know-how, I don't find a reason why she can't lead.
Well, that's a fair point.
Yes.
But
So
but I disagree. Let me go a little bit. Yeah. I disagree because first of all, patients will not respect that guy to even go out with him in the first place if he doesn't have the finances. Because that's what women look for in men. We can speak about all the differences, the little differences, or we talk about the fringes of the cases. Women look up to men that they respect. If you don't have the money to take care of women, they don't respect you. If you don't have the leadership capabilities, women don't respect you. And women generally don't deal with men that they don't respect.
I used to
Most
date-
women want to date up. We can speak about the exceptions of the rule.
Yeah.
But most women want men that they look up to the man. If your woman doesn't look up to you, she does not respect you. If she doesn't trust you that you can be able to take a leadership in a relationship, she doesn't trust you. And most women will not deal with you. That's a fact of life. Most men know this. Most men know that they have to step up for the plate for women to look. We're talking about it in general. Yeah, we can pick one or two cases of women
Exceptions
leading
do
on
exist,
exceptions.
of course.
But those women are frustrated in the relationship because they are not comfortable leading the men because it shows that they do not respect these guys.
Yeah, so
how do you? For me, it's simple as this. How do you respect? How does the woman or the girl respect a boy who isn't playing the role that he's expected to play?
okay. I will come
Before
in.
she
Yeah,
goes in,
sorry,
how
funny
how
girl.
did she get into that relationship if she wasn't respecting him up to the because if you don't respect somebody,
Yeah.
if you don't think you people are, you can come to a compromise, or you don't have ideas like
Like-minded, yeah.
you are not like-minded, why did you get into the relationship
Yeah.
in the first place?
Yeah.
That's the thing you should be
Well,
asking
you said
first.
this earlier. Some people, their willingness to get married trumps their rationality. Sometimes because they are so desperate to get married, they pick up guys that they don't look up to. It happens all the time. Because women feel like they've reached a particular age that they're supposed to be married, and then they'll go and pick these weak men that they don't look up to, and then they'll trample on this man in their relationship. The man is frustrated, the woman is frustrated, the kids, they're just in disarray because there's no leadership in the relationship.
Yeah.
I'll just throw this out there. You know, nowadays we talk a lot about relationships. We have relationship coaches everywhere.
Yeah.
We talk about this counseling. Honestly, I always say I bring it 100% to the ground, to the reality.
Yeah.
Let's face it here. Forget about the master's degrees or whatever we did. Let's bring it to the layman's level.
Yeah.
Right.
We are talking about respect here.
Yeah.
And as Ghana rightly said, a woman that loves a man will see potential if there is
Yeah.
potential or no
Or not.
potential. That's the way I look at it. Whether the man has money or
We're
not.
coming together.
Yes. You can actually.
You see potential.
A smart woman.
Yeah.
Whether the guy has it or not, they can see potential.
Yeah.
And if they want them to grow, they will support them.
They'll support the man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just
That's
because
true.
they trust them and
Yeah.
they see that potential.
Exactly.
But then, like I am trying to say, I 100% agree with a song that says she shouldn't even be in that
Yeah.
relationship.
You should not be.
And for one reason, I respect my man because he's a man.
Yeah.
Apart from the fact that he is a man, there are those values that I see, that I respect, that he has,
Right.
that I want to be around.
Yeah.
Funny, when a young girl starts a relationship, there are many things she doesn't know, apart from the fact that this could lead to a relationship or this could lead to marriage. As
Right.
Ghana rightly said, that the desperation to get into marriage triumphs their rationality. That is rightly true. But I will still come back to say the reality is this. The things that you don't see in him when you're dating, don't expect to see those things when
When
you
you're
get married
married.
to him.
Exactly.
So that is the truth
And
for
that
me.
is where most of the problems come up in relationships, right? Because people overlook actions,
Yeah.
or they minimize actions,
Yeah.
or they ignore the omissions that are happening.
Right.
The truth is this: if I am rude to you, if I am abusive, don't think that because I get married to you,
stop.
that is just automatically going to
If
change.
you're a lazy man before
Right?
marriage, you're
If
gonna
I'm a
be
lazy man before when we were dating, there's no evidence that I become
Hardworking.
hardworking when we get married.
Right.
Right?
So yeah.
no, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
I thought
to
you
cut
were running. Yeah.
No. So do you think women want men who cannot be leaders?
Yeah.
Well, let's start with yes or no, then you can get into the details.
I would say absolutely yes.
When women want men who cannot be leaders?
Yes.
But let's put it this way: is it fair to assume that women want men
Who can?
to lead in their relationships?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
100.
Yeah.
The answer
Funny.
is the same.
100%.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, the way I posed the question was a little bit confusing. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
did understand where he was coming
Yeah,
from.
yeah, yeah.
And there is this thing that I say, yeah. I'm taking you people back a little bit. There are things that we call red flags in a relationship.
Yeah.
What are red flags in a relationship? There are those things that you see and you start like putting your
guard up, something.
Yes, you start putting your guards and you start thinking like, can I deal with this? Can I not deal with this? Some people call them deal breakers. Some people will say, oh, I can overlook this. Some people will say, at the end of the day, you are not getting married to Jesus.
Yeah.
You are getting married to a human being.
Yeah.
That person will not be 100%. But if that person meets your 80%, you can go ahead.
Yeah.
But if that person is a 40%, so what do you expect to gain if you are really just pushing this agenda that I want to become a wife or I want to marry this person? It's the same thought that people say, I marry a woman, not expecting her to change.
Yeah.
And women marry men, expecting them to change.
Exactly.
Is that
That's
possible?
That's so true.
It is not.
But that's so true.
And one thing I would say, I'm saying this on this show, it's going to air out on YouTube. Young girls going to see. It is nobody's responsibility to try to fix another human being.
No.
Yeah.
We are not
No.
there to fix
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
No.
But your role is there to try to identify the things you can deal with
yeah.
and the things you cannot
can,
deal
right,
with.
exactly.
And if you can't, then please, then the person should not even bypass your halo and move to the next step in the relationship. So
Yeah.
that is how
No, I
look at it.
agree. I agree. If those qualities, if what you expect in either a man or a woman, if
It's
you
not what
don't
you're
see
seeing.
it
Yes.
Yeah.
at the initial stages, there is no way you're going to see it when you eventually, I don't know when
Yeah.
down the line. It's
Yeah.
impossible. So the question, which I get your answer was, do women expect men to lead?
Yes.
You're
Absolutely.
saying yes.
Absolutely.
I think Fanny.
No, Fanny has another thought.
No, I
No,
don't
should
have
add,
another
or
thought.
I don't know.
Talk with
Talk,
regards
yeah.
to my own relationship. In my relationship, I expect my man to lead because not because society wants the man
that,
to
yeah.
lead, but I look up to him to be the head of that house and to be the leader
Yeah.
at the same time. Even in aspects that I think he's not going to lead, you can still coach them on how to go about
Yeah.
it. Because we live in a society where people talk a lot. people, like, once they see you as a woman doing things that are
Yeah.
supposed to be done by a man, for
Right.
sure the stigma things, it just comes in.
Yeah.
You know, people start bringing in all this. It's not like I'm doing it for the society. It's
Yeah, for you.
my
It
own
works
home
for you.
first, for the peace of my own home first, because I don't want to make that man feel like he's being underlooked.
Yeah.
For example, you know, if the man is the one who usually takes the car to the
Mechanic.
mechanic,
Oh, let him
and
do.
he's lagging behind, I would remind him, Daddy, take this car, because, you know, what if your friend wants to pass and sees me in the mechanic? He will call you and ask you. You're becoming the vegetable in the house, and your man is taking over. You know, so I don't want.
Men would say, people would say that. That's
Yeah,
true.
that's true.
No.
Because if they see us women carrying out those roles that are supposed to be carried out by men,
Yeah.
as stipulated by our African culture and cultural norms and
Yeah.
societal norms,
Yeah.
for sure, people
Yeah.
will talk.
Ah.
So I don't want all that stigma and all the
Happening around,
backbiting happening in my home or.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Before
so-
you come in,
Yeah.
let me just throw this out there. We are married,
Yeah.
and you know what? We put our pride in our men.
Yeah.
And I say this because you're not stepping into that role thinking that the society will say this, but it's just because you believe in this man,
Yeah.
and this is what it is,
Right.
and you want to give them this. But on the second thought, look at it from this perspective where we have alpha males and alpha females.
Yeah.
Those two should not even be
You should not even be
anywhere
together.
close together.
This is what I'm saying. I'm not saying they should be together, but I'm looking at it like, if you know and can identify that this woman is an alpha female, and you can't handle it,
Yeah.
don't go for it.
Yeah, of course.
If this man is an alpha male
Yeah.
and you can't handle an alpha male, don't go for
Well, first of all, most women
Men should
want
be
alpha
alpha
males.
males. So that
Most women want alpha males.
it. And this is a problem.
Yeah.
Can you handle an alpha male?
Oh, okay.
The woman?
Yes.
Most women enjoy men in their masculinity, men leading their households, men taking responsibility, men, all the leadership qualities that you listed earlier. Most women want that in men.
Exactly. But at
But
the
if
end
a
of the day,
woman
can
isn't
they
able to
handle it?
deal with,
Yeah.
I will bring
Why
you a
not?
simple example.
yeah,
Yes. You know, when we talk about alpha males and alpha females, sometimes people don't dig deep. We just look at the surface. But for me, it runs really deep because some alpha males and alpha females are very inflexible.
Inflexible.
Very inflexible.
Yeah.
Very. Whether you agree or not, I know.
Yeah.
And I look at it also from the fact that we look at women where we have the modern woman
Yeah.
and the traditional women. Some people think that traditional women are women who don't work, who don't contribute anything. They stay home, take care
Yeah.
of their kids, and have nothing to do. But that's not true. But then, when you look at our situation here
Yeah.
in the diaspora, we are living our lives like modern
You
women.
work and you do something,
You
contribute.
work,
Yeah.
you still contribute, you still take care of
Yeah.
the family. There are lots of those things that are happening around you.
Yeah.
Is your husband still expecting you to play your role as a traditional woman? Because these are some of the things we don't
Yeah,
look at. And
I-
then we start complaining about leadership roles
Yeah.
in a relationship. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
I get what you're trying to say.
Yes. So there are too many aspects that comes
Yeah.
into this thing when we want to talk about leadership and who is the
Yeah.
leader. So for me, I just do think that it depends on who you're with,
Okay.
how you want to look it. But in general, trust me, us African women, I know, Cameroonian women in general, we take pride in our men
Yeah.
and we want them to take that role.
Yeah.
For sure.
I don't care about what people say out there.
Right.
I don't want you to disrespect my husband because
Yeah.
you saw me trying to replace the tire of my car.
Yeah.
No, don't go there.
Yeah.
we will.
You don't
Just
know.
so you know.
Exactly.
Yeah. Many people will. Many other women
Yeah.
will. Many other men will,
Well,
will
yes.
disrespect.
But you know, it all boils down to the fact that he's my husband. I take
Right.
pride in him. He will do the things that I
Yeah.
expect him to do. And I'm very satisfied with that. So he is my leader, and I do believe
Yeah.
men should take the leadership role.
Okay, let's go back to something you said. Alpha female and alpha male. Alpha female is an illusion. That is just no man wants an alpha female.
But a lot of women want alpha males.
Yeah, but that's how it goes. Women want alpha men. Men want feminine women. A man is not looking for another man. So if you're claiming to be a man, go be a lesbian. Most men want women who are comfortable in their femininity, who are women in the household. Because a man wants a woman that can be a woman. A man is not looking for another man. Most women want men who are men. Most women are not looking for
Another woman.
another woman.
At home.
Exactly.
And that
That's
is why I said, if you can't handle it, don't
Don't
for
go
it.
there.
Yeah. No, okay. I say this to say because a lot of modern women, and I'm not speaking about you guys, a lot of modern women now are
Maybe
getting
you're talking
these
about
things
us,
confused. I getting this thing mixed up, and it's been influenced a lot by
Yes, feminism.
feminism. I hope I was pronouncing
Yeah.
that right. They've been influenced a lot by feminism, which tells you go out there, be the boss lady, do all these things, be the boss, be the leader, blah 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 blah. And these things don't generally work at home because, like I earlier alluded to, these women are not happy. These men are not happy because they feel like the women is undermining their role in the house. These women have different expectations for their men. The children are growing up to see their dad being looked upon as weak. The boys copy these behaviors. The girls copy behaviors of trampling on men. So it just brings the whole family dynamic in disarray. So I think a lot of feminism has made it so difficult, especially for those who are in the dating market now, who are trying to champion this alpha female and beta males. Because alpha females go for beta males. Alpha females go for men that they can control.
Weak, of course.
They don't go for guys that they cannot control.
Exactly, it just boils down to what you said. There cannot be two captains in the same
Yeah.
boat, right?
Yeah, that's
So
true.
if you realize that you two are both captains,
doesn't
somebody
work.
needs to go look for a different ship.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go find your own shit.
Because that ship will not survive.
And just to add to what you said, Ghana, when I would say this out again, when we talk about feminism,
Yeah.
a lot of people are actually not defining that word feminism.
Yeah.
There is
Yeah, it's a loaded
there
word.
is, yes,
It means
there
lots
is
of things.
too many misconceptions when
Yeah.
it comes to feminism. Even when it comes to this fact that women start pulling up their shoulders, we are equal, equality. When feminism came up, it didn't come up for you to fight your husband at home to say we are equal. No.
Yeah.
So I always request that a lot of people go back to their dictionaries and research
Yeah.
what feminism is.
Yeah.
And I will continue to advocate for that. Equality for me is also the way people want to interpret it.
Yeah.
Because if my husband requests me to bring $50 at the end of the month and put it on the table, and he will bring $50 at the end of the month and put it on the table,
Yeah.
it doesn't warrant me to not give him that respect as my husband.
Yeah.
He is still my husband. And it doesn't matter.
Do you think most women would disrespect him? I think most women would disrespect a man who brings 50-50.
But that is what I am saying.
Yeah.
And a lot of women, at the end of the day, you are asking for 50-50, and then you go back and you say, but you are the man in the relationship when it comes to certain decisions.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. So, honestly, I live in the West, but
Yeah.
I haven't lost my African values. My husband is my husband. I will listen to him. I will respect him. And if he demands me to serve him food, I will.
Yeah.
Even if I am doing 50-50 in that relationship. And you know why? Because I know that it gives him a cool head. Every single person needs to be mentally stable and
Yeah.
not to be stressed and not to undergo anxiety
Yeah.
to be able to function. So because I want him there,
Yeah.
I will give him the respect.
You're doing
Yeah.
that for your own good.
Funny.
More or less. That's
Yeah, absolutely for our
Yeah,
own good.
for good. Fanny, what do you think about the 50-50 relationship? What are your thoughts about that? Before we go there, it sometimes that's very loaded and it could mean a lot of things. Let's start with finance. What do you think about a 50-50 relationship where the finance are 50-50? The woman brings 50, the man brings 50.
I must confess, I've never lived in such a relationship. I'll tell you people when I'll just talk from my own example because I don't know what happens in other households, but I know money has been the cause of a lot of problems.
It's a
in
leading
many
cause of
houses.
divorce. Yeah.
So when it comes to finances, we support each other.
Yeah.
For example, in my household, we have things that my husband takes care of. I have things that I take care of. For example, feeding.
Yeah.
I make sure that there is food in the house, but that doesn't stop my husband from going to the supermarket and pulling money from his pocket to buy.
Yeah.
So there's nothing like 50-50 in my house. If he has to pay the rent this month and he's short of some, like maybe 100 to 200, I give it to him.
Yeah.
So I can't say 50-50 is going to work for me because it's not something I've ever
Yeah.
bargained for.
Yeah.
We try to help each other. Even if I'm making more or he's making more, I don't look at that.
Yeah.
It's family money, unless you people want to say you're living separate lives. if you come together as a couple, you should be having those conversations on how to better manage the family money.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be like, where did this term 50-50 come from?
I'll tell you where it came from. It came from modern day feminism.
You're
Yeah.
trying to stigmatize women.
No,
now.
I'm not saying not all women are feminists. First of all, let's clear that up. Not all women are feminists.
So the truth is, even if you have separate accounts, you should be open to each other, because that money both of you are earning is for the family, unless you have a separate agenda or you have a separate family elsewhere that you're taking care of that you don't want me to know.
Yeah.
I give him my bank card, he gives me his bank card.
Yeah.
We use it at times and interchange. So I don't know about 50-50.
Okay.
I know about us helping each other to make sure we meet ends at the end of the month. Yeah, that's
So
how I look at
in
it.
a nutshell, you say 50-50 doesn't work.
50-50 doesn't
her.
work. I'll tell
She's
you
spacing
one
out.
thing. I had a situation where a friend of mine called me and said, Fanny, I'm in a situation where I'm fighting with my husband right now because he says I don't know anything, like he doesn't know what she does with her money. So I want you, the husband told her, come up with a list of things that you buy with your
Tell
salary.
me
Then
what you do for the month.
yes.
Let's see.
So that's already a source of conflict in the
Yeah,
house.
yeah.
If there's open communication, if you're open about your finances,
Yeah.
I don't even know how much my husband earns for sure. He doesn't know how much I earn, but we make sure that at the end of the month, everything is settled. That's the way I believe a relationship should be, even if one person is earning millions and
Yeah.
the others. If I go short of money, he gives me money.
Yeah.
If he goes short, I come
So,
up. So that's the way I look
I,
at
we,
it. Yeah.
we actually do have a series where we would be talking about money and all that
Oh,
in
other stuff,
relationships,
yeah.
right? So
The
I don't
root
want
of
us
all
to
evil.
I don't want us
To go too
I
deep in
know.
that.
really
Yeah,
deep into
yeah.
that. But
Okay.
very interesting, topic
just to add
conversations.
to what Fanny
Fanny.
is saying, I'll also talk from my personal perspective. Like, I would say my husband doesn't like, he is that person that would take care of everything if he has to.
Yeah.
He doesn't oblige me to
Yeah.
say do this or do that or
Yeah.
do this with my money.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I just want to say, like, I really appreciate him for that, because even when I was in school, I went to school for 2.5 years. I was basically working like 48 hours a week. So how could I run a house?
Yeah.
50-50.
Yeah.
50-50 with that.
Yeah.
So there is no way you can do that.
Yeah.
And also, I just want to add that it doesn't really matter who makes more in the house.
Yeah.
It just
No,
matters.
I think it matters.
No, let me
Yeah,
land.
yeah, that's what I'm just telling you that for me it matters.
For me, it doesn't really matter
Yeah.
who makes more, if
Yeah.
it's the man or if it's the woman. That is
Yeah.
just my perspective.
Yeah.
But if it means that you, the woman, is making more and you have to step in,
Yeah.
step in
And do
If-
more, of
and do
course.
more, of course.
Yeah.
Because we live in a society where nothing lasts forever.
Yeah.
You could have a job today that pays you $5,000 a month, and the next month you're without a job.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
I think it matters who makes more in the relationship,
okay.
because women respect men who can provide. If your ability, a
Not-
man's
not-
manhood goes out with his ability to provide. Men know this, women know this. If a man stops providing, his manhood is down to
Not
zero.
for me.
So I
Not
I
for
think
me too.
I
so-
don't agree.
No,
I'm telling you.
I think what the point Patience made was this: it's not the man's inability to provide.
provide, yeah.
It's like he
situational.
Yes.
he brings something to the table at the end of the day.
Yeah.
The woman may make a lot more,
Yeah.
but this man, it doesn't shy and say, "Hey, she makes all that money. Let her do it."
Yes.
He brings what he has
And it doesn't
proudly
affect-
and respectfully.
yes,
Oh,
and
it
doesn't
does
at the
affect.
table.
I
It
think
does-
it does
no,
affect.
I'll
And-
tell you, Ghana, it doesn't
No, I'm not
affect-
trying to make this personal, so
No.
don't take it. I'm just saying in
Yeah,
general.
You know
Yeah,
something?
yeah.
Let Ghana expatiate on
Yeah.
that. Tell us more about that.
Because, like I said earlier, a man's ability to provide is intricately tied to his manhood. Men, they know that, but the moment they stop providing for their wives and their family, their manhood is gone out the window. Men know this, women know this. By the time you start bringing the food to the table, or the bacon, as they call it in North America, your respect in the house drops. And women can say all the fancy things, or it's not going to change, or it's not going to whatever. It will change, because that's what men want from. That's what women want from men. That's what men expect of themselves in the relationship.
Are you?
He's overgeneralizing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you?
I
We're
agree.
speaking, no, we're speaking of the general. Yeah, we're not talking about the fringes.
Okay.
No, no,
yes.
no.
And we're speaking of general.
Let me land.
Yeah,
Here,
please speak.
Ghana. I will ask you a simple question.
Yeah,
If you are saying this and you think that it is actually true,
yeah,
while you were growing up back home
yeah,
and you started dating a girl,
yeah.
what did you have?
I was very broke. That's why the girl left me. I'm serious.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you were broke. That's why she left.
Yeah.
But I would say for me, I did not leave my boyfriend because
You're a woman. You
Well-
don't need to provide a bacon. That's the difference.
and he wasn't providing anything.
Did you marry him?
I did not marry him.
You marry another guy, right?
Yes.
Who could provide?
No,
I think
Ghana, wait, let me learn.
Ghana, you're getting
Ghana,
complicated.
I know.
I'm not getting complicated.
You
I'm just
are.
keeping it simple.
Wait, let me learn.
Yeah.
I did not marry him
Right.
not because he couldn't provide.
Right.
I did not marry him not because he wasn't man enough.
Yeah.
I did not marry him just because as he grew up, his values changed. And his values did not change in relation to finances.
Yeah.
My values did not change in relation to
Lack of.
finances. But it boiled down to the fact that our priorities did change.
Yeah. I
And
don't want to
so-
make this personal.
Yes.
I mean, let's
No.
just speak in general so that
And
people don't get into
honestly,
this.
I do think that in general, when we start dating at that very young ages, our priorities are different.
Right.
Exactly.
When we mature into grown adults, priorities change.
Yeah.
And so we move on. Sometimes it's distance.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's the fact that, okay, some people find convenience in certain
Yeah.
things that others don't.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you still have women
Yeah.
that will not
Yeah, agreed.
date men because they are rich.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, the saying goes,
I don't-
it's better to be a poor man's queen than to be a rich man's whore.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
I don't know.
Okay. Let's
So yes, let's leave it at
Let's
that.
agree to disagree.
Let's move on.
But anyway, there's a lot to delve in there, but we'll just
we talked a little. Patience kind of brought this up a little bit when she was having her conversation. You mentioned something about men being authoritative or something like that in relationships in terms of leading and being authoritarians. My question for you, as I'll start with Fanny, is do you agree that sometimes the relationship roles is often mistaken or misconstrued as one person having authority over the other? Can you lead a relationship without making the next person feel that you're controlling or you're authoritative or you're dictator? And how do you do that?
Okay, the way I look at it, I've told you guys before, it's all about communication from the onset.
Right.
Yeah.
The way you pass your message to the next person will determine how that person is going to receive it. For example, if you want to tell me to do something, your facial expression, the words you use,
yeah.
and the way you approach me
Yeah.
will determine if I'm going to say you're being authoritative towards me or
Yeah.
not, or if you're being controlling.
Yeah.
So it's all about style.
Yeah.
So you have to develop a style that will make the other person feel comfortable, like very comfortable, knowing that you're not trying to maybe
Dictate or something.
dictate to them, but you're making sure that the person is passing their message to, like using the right channel to pass the message.
Yeah.
So it could be something that requires that you hammer on it, but the way the tone, the way
Yeah.
you approach
Yeah.
would make me determine if you're being authoritative
makes a
or
lot of
not.
sense, yeah.
That's the way I look at it.
So you're agreeing that you could lead a man or a woman can lead a relationship without
Yes, without
Yeah.
being authoritative.
without being
Yeah.
authoritative
Yes.
or
Who
controlling.
says a leader should be authoritative?
Yeah.
Exactly.
A
I-
leader
yeah.
normally should be humble.
Yeah. My
Because
thinking.
you come to me with that authority, I'll downlook you.
Yeah.
I'll
Exactly.
look at you as if you're nothing in front of me.
Yeah.
If you come and start by fighting me, I'll fight back.
Yeah.
So if you come in a gentle way, Rodrigo, the way you're looking
No,
at
no. I totally agree with you.
Yeah, okay, yeah. No,
Leadership and
so-
authoritarianism are two
no.
different things. They
Yeah.
don't mix together.
Yeah, so-
Patience, you have a smile on your face.
Yeah, maybe the kids can take over from there, but for me, it's all about the approach. Once you come with a gentle approach, a loving approach, no matter how harsh that message
Yeah.
is.
And I think this speaks to one of the qualities we're talking about being a leader. A leader doesn't mean you're exerting authority over people.
Exactly. You need to
Yeah.
be humble.
Yeah,
Down
exactly.
to earth.
Yeah.
Let other people trample on you even.
Lead by
Maybe that's an overreach.
it's more you're leading
Lead
by
by ex-
service or
Yeah.
by service.
By
I
service.
think that's how that.
Exactly.
I think
Exactly.
that's how that needs to
Exactly.
happen, right?
Because as you do those things, your kids are copying those
Exactly.
bad, or I don't
Good.
know if they are good
Let's
or bad
just assume.
behavior. And
Right.
tomorrow they may become what they
But
copied, right?
I think there's a difference between authority and authoritarian. I think the two things. You can have authority, but the way you exert it is one that is respectful, that
Exactly,
is
yeah.
humble, that is loving. But authoritarian means you're just ruling over people as if they are your subjects. I don't think that's a good quality of a leader.
It
Leaders
isn't.
should not be authoritarian.
It shouldn't be, yeah.
Patience.
So, like you rightly said, I look at this issue of being a dictator or being authoritarian just from the way we were brought up.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we were brought up in parenthood where parents were always authoritarians,
yeah.
right? And we are too used to this style of parenting that sometimes we want to use that
Yeah.
here. But I do think that when it comes to your relationship, whether you are boyfriend, girlfriend, the base is just respect.
Yeah.
So one person shouldn't be dictating on the other person.
Yeah.
One person shouldn't have the power over the other person. And I just do say that because a lot of people, for me, if they are authoritarian or authoritative over their wives, for me, it's
Yeah.
disrespect.
Yeah. I
It's
think so.
disrespectful to
I
be
think
able
so
to
too,
say,
yeah.
if you want to, or if you want your wife to do just the things you want all the time,
Yeah.
doesn't give her room to even express herself
Yeah.
or even be the person she wants to be. So how do you marry a person and just want to control them?
Yeah.
Because those are the relationships that ends up with abuse.
Yeah.
And then
Oh, I totally
ends
agree.
up with divorce and ends up with this. But for me, I just do think that leadership shouldn't be authoritative or
Yeah.
it shouldn't be a dictator.
Yeah.
A good leader will be that humble person.
But should
that
the leader
listens.
have authority though?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
If you don't have authority, then there's not going to be. You're not gonna
It's
be
just how
able
you
to even-
exert.
yes,
So we agree on
But
that.
So-
how about people mistaking the authority that you have for something else, for
I-
control, for example?
Yes, I do think it's situational.
Yeah.
Situational in the sense that there are some men that are men and women both that are very protective of their relationships.
Yeah.
And so they get very uncomfortable if, for example, they don't see why their man or their woman has to be out after 7 p.m. and they still want to stay out after 7 p.m.
Yeah.
They want you to be home.
Right.
And if they are not comfortable with the fact that you're staying out, if you continue doing that, they get frustrated. And
So if he calls you at 7:30
where are
and
you?
say, "Hey, where are you? Shouldn't you be home?" Is that leadership with authority, or is that leadership in controlling?
So-
Which is it?
it's none.
Yeah.
It's none of the above.
Is it not?
It's
No.
more of- to me, I look at that as caring for your family,
Yes.
protecting your family, ensuring that the other person
Yeah.
is safe.
Even if I was
As-
But Fanny, you
Controlling.
said it that it also depends on
So,
how they say.
Let me come.
Say now
I
7 o'clock. Who's are you there?
I
Who's are you
know.
there? Come back house now.
I know where you're coming. I know where you're coming from. So
Go
it
and
is.
know how
It is.
funny
It
she
is
feels too.
easy. If, for example, my husband
or boyfriend.
or even boyfriend leaves the house,
No, at the time I just
yeah,
want
it's-
because
yes.
I don't want single people
Let's
to
not
feel like
feel
this
that they're
conversation
Yeah.
really has nothing. I want everyone to feel
know.
like this
Yes.
is part of
So generally, if you are in a relationship and you are with a partner that goes out and comes back at 10 every time, but usually you've had a conversation several times, like, I'm not really comfortable. I think we already said 7 p.m. was. So if he's out there 7:30, he doesn't come and you text him, hey, babe, where are you? And he kind of take that to be offensive, then there's a problem with him,
Yeah.
not you. Because at that time, you're just kind of think that he's going out of the norms that you guys had previously discussed. But then if it is something that is in his usual behavior,
Yeah.
right? A lot of women find it comfortable not to even text.
Yeah.
What becomes controlling is when something that you don't consistently do, and then you do it once, and the person blows it out of proportion.
No.
That's when control comes in.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be control if somebody texts you, say, hey, babe, it's 7:30. Where are you? Just because it's out of the norm, the person
Yeah.
gets concerned.
Yeah.
So that's the way I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
That song. I don't know if I answer your
So it
question.
depends on how you say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have something to add, Fanny?
Well, I think you said it all. Except you want me to say something
Because
else.
I know it's a lot of you guys that have a problem with that. Like,
well,
why is she always calling? And I tell every single woman,
Right.
the fact that you are married to a man doesn't mean that he shouldn't have time for himself. He doesn't have a life.
Yeah.
I will be very annoyed if I go out of the house and my husband is calling me every 5 minutes.
Right.
Well, it all boils down to communication, as I told you
Yeah.
guys before. I always talk about communication. That's the key to a fruitful relationship.
Yeah.
Because once once there's breakdown in communication, things will never. If you're going out and you tell your husband, "Okay, I'm going to Fanny's house. I'll be back by this time," and by this time you're not yet there, communicate with your husband to say, "Okay, I'm running late."
because of
It
this.
will prevent the husband from making those unnecessary calls.
Yeah.
Effective communication is what's going to
Yeah.
solve
Yeah.
most of our problems. But the thing is, most of us don't like communicating, or we don't like telling the next person what we are doing because we feel like they are controlling us or something.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
would disagree with you to an extent.
Well, that's the way I look at
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
Why do
Because-
I disagree with Fanny? When we talk about control, Fanny, there are those people that can just deal with their insecurities. Don't forget that you have people out there.
For sure.
The minute their partner walks out of the home, they want a video call. They want to talk to them. They want to know where they are. They want to know when they are coming back.
Yeah.
They want to know which bus stop they're at.
Yeah.
So there is nothing you can do about that because that is some kind of a behavior.
In your opinion, who does that more, men or women?
Hey,
both
women.
parties.
Women.
So women are the controlling ones. Okay.
No.
She said women. She said
Both parties.
Let's not focus on
Fanny is being politically correct.
No.
That's right.
Both parties do it.
But no, they cannot be doing 50-50. They
No,
have
I
to do.
didn't say 50.
But
Yeah,
both
so who
men.
does it more? That's the
Some,
question.
like
does it
both
more?
parties do it, but
I know everybody.
women will do it more.
Fanny, who does it more?
I can't tell.
See, political correctness.
Yeah. Let's move on.
I can't tell either.
I can't
No,
tell
I think
because
women do it more than men.
Ghana, you can't say more. I disagree with that because we have men who are the control freaks and we have women who are the control freaks.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we
absolutely.
can't say women do it more.
Fanny, we're
feel
speaking
very
on this program. We're
insecure,
speaking in general. We're not speaking about exceptions. The
You
exceptions
haven't
don't make the
done-
rule.
You haven't
We
done
cannot
a research.
We
on
don't
that.
need to do a research,
We need
a
to-
qualitative or quantitative research to
We
decide
cannot
that
be
it's
speaking generally
obvious.
because when you're generalizing, you're putting everybody in the same basket.
No, because the majority is the people who run the show. We
Okay,
cannot
how-
be making rules for the exceptions.
Okay, how many women have you been with that you're going
I don't
to
need
tell
to
us?
be
I
with-
think I think I think
I
we,
need to
we
be
can
with all
agree.
women.
We can agree to disagree.
I need to be
Let's
with all
put
We
it
women.
can
50-50.
we can agree
It's
to
not
disagree
50-50.
that
More women do it.
That men or women do it more. I think that's a whole
Yeah, it's
conversation
fair.
for
It's fair, yeah,
for a whole
exactly.
for another
Yeah.
time, right?
Let's talk about. Do you feel like there's a difficulty in people translating leadership from their workplace into their relationship? Do you think that happens often?
Do you go first? Or I go?
Yeah, go first.
Well, I can go first.
Yeah.
What can I really? How can I put it? But it could. It all depends on. Like, let's say if you're not carrying work back home, like what you practice at work back home, for sure, it's
Yeah.
gonna be two different scenarios. If at work you're the boss there. For example, a woman, we don't expect you to be a boss at home.
Because a lot of
Because-
women are bosses at work.
Because a lot of women are bosses at home.
At work, yeah.
For example, I'll talk about our African upbringing.
Yeah.
We've been emphasizing here that we want our husbands to be the leaders in our homes.
Yeah.
So if I'm a boss at work, when I'm leaving work, I leave that cap there.
Yeah.
Coming back home, I know I have a boss at home. I don't know. So it's, maybe you can chip in something, but Ghana, you need to say something here. But I believe you can leave. You don't need to meet
Yeah.
both of them.
No,
you don't need to
I
meet
think
both of
it-
them.
Honest, for me,
Yeah.
honestly, it's transferable.
It's transferable. Okay.
Leadership skills
Yeah.
are transferable because the way you treat people out there is the same way you should be
Treat people
treating
at
your
home,
woman
yeah.
at home. Well, yes, because there is no denying that you have people that go out in their jobs and they know they're the best person ever, and they come back home and they are like
Yeah.
the direct opposite.
But-
I think what you've said kind of follows what Fanny was trying to say, because Fanny is making it really clear that you are the boss at the office, but when you're coming back home, you leave all those maybe the attitudes or the expectations of your workplace there.
yeah.
When you come home, right? When you come home, like you said, those skills are transferable. Meaning the skills that you use as a boss up there at work could be
And
used
those be good- they could
in
be
your
good
home,
skills,
and they
right?
could be really good
Respect-
skills too.
respect,
But
yeah.
it's the attitude.
The attitude.
The expectations of a boss doesn't have to come with you back home. So, for example, if you're at the office, it's obvious and okay for a boss to give out orders.
Instructions. Yeah.
Do this, you need to do this, you should have done this. But when you're coming home,
You come to collaboration.
you're coming home, even if there's something that needed to be done, how you approach
Yeah.
cannot be the same,
Same
as
as
I think
applicable.
that's what you were
Yes,
that's what you're
what I
heading
was
to.
heading
And
to,
then you
yeah.
are piggybacking on, I don't know if that's a word, but you are following up and saying, yes,
It's
when you
transferable.
come home, there are
Yes.
skills which can be
Yes,
brought
for
back
me,
home, right?
it's more about the skill and not the personality
Okay.
Yeah.
and not the behavior.
Yeah.
And I want to differentiate this because honestly, I know the authoritarian leadership, it has gone out of fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you look at leadership styles that are being taught in workplaces, they want leaders to collaborate.
Yeah.
They want leaders to be more
Yeah.
flexible.
Yeah.
They
So
want
there are good
leaders-
skills that can
yes,
work in a
They want
relationship.
leaders to be more mindful,
Yeah.
to be able to communicate openly with their colleagues or their subordinates or
Yeah.
whoever is working there. And I do believe these are really good and quality skills because if you are a boss at work and you're not able to listen, you're horrible.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you're not able to
That's true.
collaborate, you're horrible.
Makes
If you're
sense.
not flexible, you're horrible.
Yeah.
But that is what I'm saying. These are transferable skills.
Yeah.
Keep the behavior aside.
Yeah.
Bring the
Because-
skills back.
Bring the skills back. And
Yeah.
that is why I say that there are people that have this horrible attitude at home that they don't take to work.
Of course. you
Because
leave
they
it
know
at home.
nobody's going to
can tolerate that, yeah.
Nobody's going to
Yeah.
tolerate that.
Yeah.
That's true.
But you think that because the home is a comfortable place and your partner, as they say, familiarity breeds contempt. Your partner is the person that will not go anywhere. They will stay there and they will do whatever. So you think that the personality or the behavior will be okay for
Yeah.
them to handle. No.
Yeah.
For me, it's absolutely 100%. We never know it all.
Yeah.
And the person that thinks that they know it all are those people that always find themselves in situations that they cannot handle.
Yeah.
So I do believe that those good things that we go out there and learn as bosses
Yeah.
are those things that we should be applying them.
Back home.
Yeah,
Or the
back
skills
home,
that
yeah.
we should be transferring
Yeah.
at home. When it comes to the personality and the behavior,
Leave
it's
it.
a whole
Different thing,
different
yeah.
ball game.
Yeah.
So for me, I do think that it's important.
It's-
At least we have we all can agree on that.
yeah,
At
it's
least one thing that
transferable,
we've
but
agreed on.
I don't know. Some are not transferable. Some are transferable.
The
but-
skills are,
the
for
skills
me,
are-
the skills are important.
But do you think like most women who are bosses at home want to be bosses in the house?
At
At
work.
work?
Yeah, at work want to be bosses in their home.
We can't say
in my
most.
in
Some.
my personal
Some, yeah.
in my personal experience, I would say no.
Okay.
No, because I want my
Because
husband
you want to
to
come back home
No, I
and let the
wanna come
husband
back-
take the lead.
Yes, I want to come back and see my husband for him to take me for the woman that he married, not
Yeah.
the boss.
Thank
That
you.
He did not marry a boss. He did marry a woman. So
See?
yeah, so
So last question. Is it important to have a leader in a relationship? I know we kind of dive in that, but just conclude.
We want to be really specific. So, what are the advantages of having a clear leader in a relationship?
Why are you dancing?
She wants to go.
no, I
And it
do
doesn't
think-
matter if it's the
yes,
man or the woman.
I do
what
think
what advantage? Yeah.
for me, absolutely yes.
Okay.
There should be a leader. And why do I think that there should be a leader? Because we as parents are role models to our children.
Yeah.
The people we are raising today are the people they will be tomorrow.
Yeah.
So for me, there should be a leader because our kids are going to learn a lot from that role. And the fact that our kids understand that a leader, for me, should be that person that shows a lot of compassion, an empathetic person,
Yeah.
that person who is never too busy to listen to their children, who is never too busy to schedule things with their children, who is never too busy to have time for them, who is always willing to share are the values that I want my children
So,
grow up in, and to just like think that it's doesn't all have to be about the money, but it has to be within natural environment
Yeah.
that we think. Because honestly, when you look out there, a lot of people say money doesn't buy happiness, but it buys comfort. That is true.
yeah.
What will your kid do with money if they are not happy?
Yeah.
Right? So I do think that it boils down to the simple fact that a leader is important in
Yeah.
a relationship, because if there is that person that you absolutely believe can be the captain of that ship, then you both can go to wherever destination you aim
Yeah.
at. Because the only way you achieve goals and objectives is by having a leader that will lead
Thank you.
if you really want to achieve. So for me, it's absolutely important to have a leader in a relationship.
Funny.
Yeah.
Fanny just agrees.
Yeah, she said it all. Yeah, it's very important to have a leader in a relationship, even though at one point the leadership roles could change.
Can change.
Switch, yeah, of
It
course.
could switch.
Mhm.
So no matter who leads that relationship, there should be a leader.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like we said, a house with a boat without a leader is going without a captain for sure. As I said, is going nowhere.
Yeah.
It's going to stand on the same spot, or maybe it's going to sink or something.
Crash eventually.
So a leader is very necessary in a relationship, no matter who takes that role. Yeah. So.
Ghana?
Well,
Why is it important? I need you to tell me.
oh,
why
you
it's
want
important.
I
Yeah,
mean,
need you to tell me
I
why it's
think
important.
because you need a relationship to have a vision. You need a relationship to have a focus, and no two people can lead a relationship. You have a leader, and most at times that falls on the man. It doesn't mean that you're authoritarian. It doesn't mean that you're domineering over the woman. But most men, in my opinion, men should take the lead in the relationship in a loving, humble, respectful way. And in terms of providing and protecting your family, you absolutely need the man to lead.
Amen.
Amen. Man, did you hear that?
Perfect.
Yeah. You have. I thought you were gonna go.
Oh, you want me to say?
Yeah,
say
yeah.
what- because I'm asking everyone else.
No, yeah. What are
Yeah,
your
we
own
need to
thoughts?
hear your own part. Yeah.
No, yeah, I agree. I agree with all of you. There has to be a clear leader. And it doesn't matter if it's the man or the woman or the boy or the girl. It really has to be clear. Just like you said, focus, vision, right? Somebody needs to take the lead in everything.
Yeah.
If it's conflict, somebody needs to take the lead to resolve.
Exactly.
If not, conflicts don't get resolved, right? If actions or steps or vacation then somebody has to take the lead to plan for that to happen. If it's a wedding, somebody has to plan for a wedding. Somebody
If
has to
it's
take the lead.
proposing,
If it's proposing,
Yeah.
someone has to, right? And again, it doesn't matter who takes the lead at different points. What I am saying is that if for this part of our relationship you lead, that's fine, and I might lead in different parts, but generally I think there is a clear leader default.
general.
Let's put it say
The
a
default
default. There's a
leader.
default
In general,
leader
yeah.
in general, right? So yeah, that's why I think it is important. That's why I think that this conversation was a good place to start for this series.
Serious.
I think it's kind of giving us the opportunity to kind of know where we all stand.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad thing to know where people
Yeah.
stand, right?
Absolutely.
And then I think there's been a lot of I would say that I've known you for a long time, really long time, but I think this conversation has shown me a lot
A
about
different
you
side.
that I probably didn't know, and of course for Fanny as well, right? So
Yeah.
I feel like this was a good place for this collaboration
To start, yeah.
to start. And I think it would be unfair if we didn't make it really clear that it wasn't just you two.
Yeah.
The other members.
You know that but maybe we talk about
The other members of the
who
Black
else
Pearls.
is part of the Black Pearls. You guys can.
Yeah, so
do that.
we're four of us. We have Patience, we have Fanny, then we have Ebai Bella, and we have Marilyn Law.
Yeah.
So for reasons beyond our control, the two other people couldn't be here.
Today, yeah.
Okay.
So it just comes with the fact that, with busy schedules and around family and children,
Yeah.
we do have. But we will always be here. If you don't see me, you see Fanny. If you
Exactly.
don't
We'll
see
see
Fanny, you
the
see Bella
the Black Pearls.
or Laura. We will always be there.
Yeah.
But for sure, you're gonna have.
Can
a
I
solution.
ask what was the inspiration for that?
For Black
Yeah.
Pearls?
Why did you?
Honestly, Black Pearls came as an initiative for me and Fanny. We've had several conversations about this, but trust me, the motivation was just the fact that there are too many things happening in our community.
Yeah.
And nobody's talking about it.
Pertinent issues.
Yes,
Yeah.
and we do find that these are issues that people don't want to talk about,
Yeah.
but our lives are being affected by it daily. So that's why when you watch the Black Pearl show, we don't keep anything, we don't reserve anything.
Yeah.
It's black and white.
Yeah.
So
I
we
see
say
Ghana
it-
was trying to say no, just be general.
Yes.
It's not specific.
Yeah.
So
just-
it's like it's like we keep it there black and
Yeah.
white. So when we share such experiences, you don't know whose life you're
Learning,
impacting.
yeah.
You don't know who is like directly in that situation at that time. The more we don't talk about it, the more
It
people
doesn't
just
make it
get
better.
drowned.
Yeah.
Yes, it doesn't make it better. So it's time for us to come out there and talk. Like we just do say, none of us is Jesus. Nobody is perfect. We talk about it to the level that we know, but also we want to make it like relatable.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
we
Okay.
need to be able to share relatable experiences because there are people out there that just think that they are undergoing this by themselves, like
Yeah.
other people haven't experienced it. But the more you understand that a lot of different people are experiencing the same thing that you're experiencing, then you find it comfortable to be able to reach out and talk to
Yeah.
people. So that was just the motivation.
That's good. Well, thank you. We had fun with this conversation, and I hope you guys had fun as well. This is the beginning of many more to come, so we're gonna have interesting conversations. For our viewers out there, please go on our YouTube channel. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification button. You can also go on the page of the Black Pearls
Pearls
Inspired on Facebook.
You have a
can,
Facebook? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
Sorry, not Facebook. YouTube channel.
Yeah,
We
we have a
have-
YouTube channel, but it's not very active.
Okay.
But we plan to make that really active.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, go
Sorry,
to
go
the
ahead.
Facebook page for more information. So this is the Idol Park Talk Show, and we were joined by.
Fanny.
Patience, and we are part of the Black Pearls Inspired.